Banks and character, obviously you were in Vegas. By most accounts, they outplayed certainly their draft position. Are you now just waiting to see how they perform in training camp, or do you take some of that positivity out of their summer league?
I think they did play better than what their draft position indicated. But once again, summer league, you're playing against, most of those guys are not going to be in the NBA. They'll be playing perhaps in training camps. Some of them will be in the V-League, and a lot of them will go to Europe. So you're evaluating, potential NBA players against players that won't be in the NBA, and you got to keep that in mind. So just because you play well in summer league doesn't mean you're going to make it at the NBA level. If you can't play well in the summer league, then that's an indication that you can't play at the NBA level. That much we know. So we try to get the kids to come to camp and evaluate them there. But each one is, each circumstance is different. One player was drafted 43, the other player was drafted 58. They both did play well. We thought they both should have been drafted higher. We do have roster spots. If they are going to be players, you might consider, doing a deal longer than a year just in case they are. So there are other considerations, that we walk through and talk through, and right now I am in discussions with both representatives. And now that we know what our roster is going to look like, we know what we can offer in terms of the length of a deal. Where up until yesterday, you didn't know, because if you had the mid-level, you could offer a 3, 4, or 5-year deal. Now that you no longer have the mid-level, the piece that we used to sign Matt, it's really coming down to minimum, 1 or 2 year contracts. So we have a lot more information today than we did yesterday, just in dealing with our rookies.
Andrew said during his exit interview that he thought he was going to have the surgery actually about now or even a little bit before that. Did he give any indication as to why pushing it back a little bit?
Through conversations with the representative, it's our understanding that scheduling, the availability of the doctor, he's going to have it done in New York with Dr. Kupchak, who is the doctor that did his other.
Right.
So his schedule is completely out of our control, and to a great degree out of Andrew's as well. So I think that was a big part of it. Andrew traveled a lot. I think he went to the World Cup. But there's no real urgency. Sooner is always better, and we think even if he has it next week, there'll be plenty of time. But you do want to get it done as quick as possible, because you just never know. But we think and we expect him to be fine for camp.
Besides abstaining from USA Basketball, has Kobe decided on course of action?
Aside from,
has Kobe decided what he's planning to do for his injuries? Has there been any indication he's may need surgery or any other treatment for?
We have not, really discussed, in great depth with Kobe. I know he is, looking at, things that he may want to do. I guess if there's something there that, you guys need to know, we can get it out to you. It's kind of the first time the question's been asked. And Kobe kind of runs, his medical stuff kind of on his own a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I know he's in touch with, our people downstairs, Gary. So if there's an update that's necessary, we'll get it out to you.
What kind of minutes do you think are going to be available to Matt at small forward behind Ron?
Well, we know what he can do. It's going to be based on, the needs of the team, the coach, and how he performs in training camp. Our group is relatively young, but we do have a bunch of players now over 30. Maybe Kobe could benefit with some more rest. I know Ron Artest wants to play all the minutes, but maybe he can benefit with some rest. Certainly Derek can. And not that Matt can play point guard, but you could shuffle players around. You can put Kobe at a small forward. You can put Kobe at a 2. You can play Matt guarding 2s. And so it's a coach's, I think, challenge to manage the minutes. And how much will he play? I don't know. It could be 15 to 18 minutes a game. It could be 20 to 25. To be honest with you, it didn't come up with discussions, with the agent or the player. in the last 2 days. Everybody knows what our roster looks like. I'm sure he's not concerned about the 2 rookies. So he looks at our roster and he wants to be a Laker. And that's fine with us. In fact, that's great with us.
Is that unusual to hear a player not talk about that court time or something like that?
It is unusual. You know, it's not something that, you know, maybe a player would discuss with me, you know, because you look at the roster. And it is what it is. This is a veteran team. We have a starting small forward in Ron Artest. I don't think Matt thinks he's going to come in and beat him out. You know, I hope that's his mindset, because that would make for a competitive camp. But I'm sure that's not what he's thinking. You know, he wants to come in and play hard and earn minutes. And you know, when I spoke to him last night, he was ecstatic. He wants to win. He wants to win a championship.
Mitch, you said that it wasn't necessarily a part of the plan, knowing that he'd be available. Once you found that out, was there any kind of hesitation, or did you, just for the value that you got him at, was that kind of a no-brainer to bring him in?
I wouldn't say it was a no-brainer. Yeah, if you look at our roster, before we brought Matt on board, it's, in particular, after we added Theo, it's a pretty balanced roster, just on paper. But once again, I think Luke's situation, you know, changed things a little bit, and you know, to ownership's credit, they decided to seek some insurance at a position, you know, that has some uncertainty to it. So, you know, that's something that was evaluated in the last day or two.
Wrap it up, guys. Now that you've done all this, are you ready to trade half the team for Chris Paul? Like the rumors.
It's the rumor mill. There's a lot of rumors out there. I don't pay much attention, to be honest with you.